What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne Yang with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A local news outlet says Taiwan's military will send a battalion of troops for training in the United States. It would be the first time in the country's history that such a large number of soldiers train abroad. The Central News Agency quoted an anonymous source. The exchange would take place in the second half of this year. The report says a combined arms battalion will be one of the groups to train in the U.S. This kind of unit is composed of a mix of soldiers trained to use tanks and other vehicles. TaiwanPlus reached out to the Defense Ministry, but they declined to comment on the matter. Councilors on Taiwan's outlying Jimin Islands want the military out of their jurisdiction. The island group sits just off the Chinese coast. For decades, they were run by the military and faced shelling from China. Even now, Kinmen is still an important base for the armed forces. Stash Butler has the story.
In 1958, Taiwan's Kinmen Islands were bombarded by Chinese forces for 3 months. It was part of a conflict that came to be known as the Second Taiwan Strait Crisis. The islands lie in the Taiwan Strait, just 10 kilometers off the Chinese coast and about 200 kilometers from Taiwan's main island. Today, Kinmen enjoys peace and has a healthy tourism industry. But old military defenses still dot the coastline, and the islands remain a key base for Taiwan's armed forces to fend off any potential attacks by China. Now, a group of local councillors wants those forces gone. They want Kinmen to be demilitarized as a token of cross-strait peace. On Tuesday, the councillors handed their petition to the local leader of Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP.
让我们金门永久地保持一个和平的两岸的一个沟通跟相处的一个过程。
乡亲地区的这些民情我们也都乐于来转呈向中央来这个陈述。
The petition puts pressure on the government over its fraught ties with China, which claims Taiwan as part of its own territory. Beijing regularly flies warplanes near Taiwan's airspace and refuses to talk to Taipei unless it agrees Taiwan is part of China. But just last week, the vice chair of Taiwan's main opposition party, the Kuomintang or KMT, met with senior Chinese officials in Beijing. The KMT says that proves it can handle delicate cross-strait relations better than the DPP. But the DPP has hit back. It says the KMT and China are working under a tacit agreement reached in 1992, and that's undermining Taiwan's sovereignty.
中华民国已经是一个主权独立的国家。中国的国家主席习近平已经再三的讲过，“9·2共识”就是一个中国、一国两制，这是台湾人民没有办法接受的。希望各个党团、各个党派都能够来尊重我们台湾人民的意志。
Opposition figures say they can defuse tensions with China. Some want to demilitarize Kinmen as a token of goodwill. But as Beijing continues to ramp up its military pressure, Taiwan's armed forces may see that as removing what could be the first line of defense against a Chinese attack. Eason Chen and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Amnesty International and other civil rights groups held a rally outside Russia's representative office in Taipei on Wednesday. The groups expressed their solidarity with Ukraine and called for an end to the conflict.
我们去年1年前也来过这边，那其实当时也是同样的呼吁，就是俄罗斯政府就是立刻终止这样的一个违反国际人权法、侵略性的还有武装的这样的一个动作。
The gathering comes just ahead of the one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russia's ongoing military occupation continues to draw condemnation from countries around the world. Taiwan has revised down its economic growth forecast for 2023. The country's gross domestic product is expected to grow just 2.1% this year. That's down more than 0.5% compared to the government's previous estimate. The revision comes as exports in 2023 are expected to see a 5.8% decline on last year. That's as higher interest rates and inflation continues to dampen global demand. Taiwan's health ministry is slashing its budget for buying medicines. The ministry is cutting the funds by about $270 billion. That would impact some 6,000 types of drugs. Despite the cuts, officials say certain minimum prices will be maintained and they won't change prices for medicine that are already in short supply. But there are still concerns that the budget cuts could cause medicine shortage in the future.
原厂或者本土的药商也会因为就是药价的不符成本而放弃生产。
New Taipei City has fined 2 major bus companies for making their drivers work too much overtime. Some drivers reporting working over 100 extra hours in 1 month, a serious violation of Taiwan's labor laws.
都使劳工超时工作，那也分别是5年内的第8次违反跟第6次违反，所以有重罚同年客运80万元，以及指南客运他们有2条违法，总共罚62万元。
Labor shortages have led Taiwan's bus companies to overwork the staff they have. The public bus sector says about 1,800 drivers are needed nationwide to meet demand. 1,500 of those openings are in Taipei and New Taipei alone. The situation has made Taiwan's roads even more dangerous than usual. Last December, bus drivers in Taichung were required to take safety courses after an accident killed 2 people. Several increasingly strange interactions between humans and AI programs have gone viral online recently. Now, this new software is getting a lot of attention, and programmers in Taiwan are working to catch up with the trend. They are conducting test runs on the first chatbot to write in traditional Chinese. Yvonne checks it out.
This new search engine by MixerBox is a bit different from some of the others you might be familiar with. For a start, this one comes with an artificial intelligence chatbot. The AI is meant to function like a personal secretary, helping to plan trips, offering advice on cafes or restaurants, or even coming up with creative ideas like poems and song lyrics. But the biggest difference between this chatbot and others? MixerBoxes can write in traditional Chinese characters. Given that Mandarin is the official language of Taiwan, many people in Taipei like the sound of this feature.
规划行程现在就不用动脑，履历什么的。你如果要写一段文字介绍自己的话，有人可以帮你润饰本，我觉得是蛮方便的功能啦。
Though MixerBox chatbot is the first in the world to use traditional Chinese, it's still in its trial phase, and designers are asking Taiwanese users to put it to the test. So let's see how well it does. I'm going to try and plan a 1-day trip in Taipei. Well, the results were mixed. First, the chatbot suggests I go to Raohe Street in the morning, but this area is known for its night market. I asked if it's a good idea to have traditional bawa meatballs on pizza. The AI said definitely yes. Now, that's something which can certainly divide opinions among Taiwanese people. And when it comes to predicting more serious issues, such as the possibility of a war between China and Taiwan, the answer is ambiguous. The chatbot also used some Chinese characters incorrectly. Experts say the technology performs better in English, but in Mandarin, it still needs a bit of time to iron out the remaining issues.
GPT-3它其实也是 OpenAI 出的，它是我们现在很红的这个 ChatGPT 的前一版，它是很多语言混合在一起训练的。那所以你用任何语言问它，就基本上它都可以达到对应的回答。一般来说，英文的效果是最好的，只要是中文的，那它就再把它强制翻译。
Although the AI is not perfect, this is just the beginning of a tech revolution. And it's not just private companies working on chatbots that use traditional Chinese. The government is also preparing to fund several of these projects. So, while these AI assistants are not yet fluent, a lot of effort is going into putting them through language school. Patrick Chen and Yujin Huang for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we'll leave you with images of the smallest beautiful international miniature exhibit in New York. I'm Yvonne. Take care and see you next time.